to explain it. And you listen very carefully what leaching is. Now, leaching, this one is the process by which plant nutrients dissolve in water and then they get drained to the lower areas of the soil, deep underground, where plant roots cannot reach them. The process by which plant nutrients dissolve in rainwater and get drained to lower horizons where plant roots cannot reach them. That is leaching. When it rains, remember there are nutrients in the soil, the plant nutrients like the nitrates are there, the salts, the mineral salts are there. So when it rains, some of these nutrients, they dissolve in the rainwater. Then as the water goes down the soil, it goes together the nutrients deep down where the plant roots cannot reach them. That is leaching. I will give you notes so that you'll be able to be reading about that and you get to know it more. Now, our next point or item number 2, still on soil fertility, we need to know about plant nutrients. We need to know about plant nutrients. We need to know about plant nutrients because these nutrients are very important to plants and the plants take them as their food. Plant nutrients are classified into 2 groups. We have macronutrients and micronutrients. We need to differentiate the 2. Macro and micro plant nutrients. So plant nutrients are classified into 2 groups. There is macro nutrients and micronutrients. What are the macronutrients? Now these ones are the major plant nutrients and they are needed by plants in large amounts or large quantities. Plants need them in large amounts. So many of them. They are very important to plants. And if a plant lacks them, then these plants may not have good health. So these are the plant nutrients that are needed in large quantities. Examples of these macronutrients, we have the following. The examples are the following. 1, we have nitrogen. You can see, I love to write over here. We have nitrogen, number 1, is one of the major plant nutrients. Number 2, we have phosphorus. Number 2. Number 3, we have potassium, carbon. Number 5, magnesium. Number 6, sulfur. 8, that is 7, calcium, some major is a macronutrient. Hydrogen, and oxygen. So those 9 are the macro plant nutrients. They are needed by plants in large quantities, in large amounts. All these nutrients are found in the soil. They are found in the soil. And the plants get them from there through absorption, through the roots. So as the plants absorb water, they will absorb together these nutrients. Now these two, hydrogen and oxygen, they are found in water. Water is made up of these two, hydrogen and oxygen. So as the plants absorb the water, they will have absorbed these two nutrients, and they are very, very important. Now, micronutrients, these ones, it is the opposite of macro. We have said that macro are needed in large quantities. Now these ones, they are needed by plants. Needed by plants in small amounts or small quantities. Macronutrients, micronutrients are needed by plants in small quantities. They are needed by plants in small quantities. Now, that is, these are plant nutrients that are needed by plants in small quantities or amounts. So as we finalize, we have examples of micronutrients. Examples of micronutrients. One, we have iron. Iron is one of the micronutrients. It's needed by plants in small amounts. Copper, a plant nutrient. And don't think of copper, the metal. Plants don't absorb metals from metals in the soil as plant nutrient. So this one is copper, a plant nutrient. Zinc, again, a plant nutrient. So don't think of zinc, the metal, but zinc, the micro plant nutrient. Manganese, another micronutrient. Don't confuse manganese and the magnesium that we have mentioned and the macronutrient. Molybdenum. I'm very sure many of you may have problems in pronouncing that one. Molybdenum. Try to pronounce that word. It is known as molybdenum. Then 6, boron. Boron is another micro plant nutrient. And then lastly, chlorine. Chlorine, another micronutrient. So, as I wind up, you need to know that these plant nutrients that we have mentioned, macro and micro plant nutrients, both of them, or both groups of plants are nutrients, they are very important to plants. And the plants cannot do without them. Although, especially for the micronutrients, some plants may lack them, but they still produce yields. There won't be so much problems, but they are important. Another thing to note, we have said that these plant nutrients, they are found in the soil, and plants absorb them through the roots. They absorb them through the roots. Remember, if you can remember very well, when you are in class 4, you said that living beings feed. And remember, plants are also part of living beings. Some of you have been wondering how plants feed. Plants feed through the roots. and their food is in the soil. Their food are these nutrients. Their food are these nutrients. So this is their food, and we get it from the soil. Now, in our next lesson, because I need to tell you this one so that you can go and read ahead. Next time, we will now see where these plant nutrients we can get them. And we will be mentioning, or we will be discussing about manures. We will discuss about manures next time. That is the fertilizers. We will see the different ways of improving soil fertility, because as we have seen that soil can lose its fertility. So once the farmer discovers that the soil has lost fertility, then he will need to improve the fertility. He will need to improve the fertility. And one of the ways of improving fertility will be adding manures. So I want you to read about manures. I will ask you questions about this. Be able to differentiate between the organic manures and the chemical fertilizers. The examples of organic manures, make sure you know them as we meet next time. And examples of fertilizers, make sure you know about them. Again, after this lesson, I'm going to give you notes.